As surprising as it may sound, I got my hands on a few PlayStation Vita games while the Enthusiast Gaming team was in LA for E3 2018. Leading up to E3, I made a promise to cover any Vita games that were available to play there, which is exactly what I'm doing today. I was able to get my hands on 4, but basically 3 PlayStation Vita games during my time at E3, and here's my thoughts on each title. Numbers 1 and 2 go to Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight and Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight. The PlayStation Vita may be a legacy platform at this point, but there's still plenty of awesome indie titles making their way to the handheld. Then, every so often, we get mid-tier AAA games from publishers like Sega and Atlus and Square Enix and a few others. Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight and Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight are releasing early next year and just might be the last batch of titles we get from the Sega Atlus publishing duo. Developed by Atlus's P Studio, Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight and Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight, my god, it's hard saying those names over and over. They build upon the PlayStation Vita exclusive predecessor Persona 4 Dancing All Night in cool ways. However, one big thing the titles seem to be lacking is the traditional Persona storyline, which is what Persona 4 Dancing featured, and it was actually my favorite part of the game. But don't fret, these 2 new dancing gems take a different approach with story elements and character interactions. Social links are now a part of the dancing spin-off series, and if you've played any of the past 3 mainline Persona titles, then you're fully aware of what these social links can offer. Basically, really cool stories with all the characters and funny situations and whatnot. Unfortunately, the information on how these social links work is pretty skim. The games are already available in Japan, so if you want to try and dig deep enough, you can probably find some stuff, but that's not really what I wanted to dive into. Let's talk gameplay. Maybe you're brand new to the Persona dancing games. If so, I can explain exactly what you're getting into. Starting off, things can feel a little simple, and the controls may not be what you expect. Use the up, left, and down buttons on the left side of the controller, and the triangle, circle, and X buttons on the right side. Symbols will shoot from the middle of the screen and hover over your hood of 6 circles. Your goal is to perfectly time your button clicks whenever they float directly over your hood. Like I said, things start off simple, but that quickly changes. It's pretty amazing just how complicated these games can get with such a simple button scheme, and it's pretty damn exhilarating. Slide moves and double hits really jack up the difficulty, and there's other bonus hits you can do by tapping the joystick. What I loved about Persona 4 Dancing All Night is that there's a bunch of different difficulty settings, so you can pretty much tinker with it until it's perfectly up your alley. The Persona dancing games are chock full of fan service and incredible music. If you've caught yourself tapping along to the music during Persona 3 or Persona 5, then you'll probably have a blast playing through these new titles. I'm eager to see how the social link system works in replacement of a traditional storyline. If there's one thing that is certain, it's that P Studio knows how to write engaging and charming interactions between its characters, and I can't wait to play through Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight and Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight when they launch next year on the PlayStation Vita and PlayStation 4. The next game I wanted to talk about is called Chasm, and it just might find success on Vita. This indie gem has been a long time coming. I actually played it 2 years ago at the same E3 event that I did this year, and it's still easily one of my most anticipated releases for Vita. I talked to one of the Chasm team members during my time at E3, and he told me that one of their previous projects that he was associated with, Axiom Verge, saw major success on PlayStation Vita even after a year-long delay. This is why they decided to bring Chasm to the Vita as well. So it was some awesome insight into how even the smallest games on a very small install base that the Vita has can find success in a niche market. So what is Chasm? Well, let the game's official description explain. Honor-bound to solve the mystery and restore peace to the kingdom, you embark on an epic adventure with deadly battles against cunning monsters, exploration of ancient catacombs and castles, and powerful new equipment hidden around every turn. Though the overall story is the same for all players, your hero's journey will be unique. Each of the rooms have been hand-designed, and behind the scenes, the game stitches together rooms and make it into a one-of-a-kind world that will be your own. The game is a blast to play and a joyful world to scavenge through. Gameplay hits that nostalgic itch and continues to impress. The art style is gorgeous and features an assortment of varied settings, and I would be surprised if Chasm didn't catch the eye of a ton of retro gaming fans like Axiom Verge did. You can look forward to playing Chasm this summer when it launches simultaneously on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita, and it also has cross-buy. So if you enjoy customizing your character with different armors, weapons, and spells, and fighting big bosses and discovering new abilities, it's probably the game for you. The final game I wanted to talk about is one that has been known for quite a while now as well, and it's Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. The second I got into my demo room for Bloodstained, the first question I asked was, is it still coming to PlayStation Vita? And the developer reconfirmed that it is in fact still making its way to our favorite handheld, and I'm hoping that never changes. Just a few weeks ago, we received Bloodstained Curse of the Moon on PlayStation Vita, and it was received well by most outlets. And in case you missed it, we actually reviewed the game on our channel, so you can go ahead and check that out. I will link it at the end of this video. In short, we absolutely loved it, and it's one of our favorite games of the year. If you didn't know, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is led by former Castlevania series producer Koji Igarashi. I'm horrible at saying names, so that's probably not even close right. But anyway, it's considered a spiritual successor to the Castlevania series. Based on what I've played, it's hitting all the right notes, for the most part. The one major gripe I have with Bloodstained is the art style. It's just not very appealing. In a world where fantastic 2D and 2.5D games exist, like Ori and even Rayman Legends, Ritual of the Night just doesn't hit the same bar visually and compared to those 2D games. And honestly, I prefer the retro look of Curse of the Moon. I would have loved if Ritual of the Night featured the same art style, but I digress. At the end of the day, gameplay is king, and Ritual of the Night does gameplay splendidly. Explore and collect new weapons, get in heated fights, and take down some seriously tough bosses. I loved trying out all the different weapons I discovered throughout the build that I played, all of which had their pros and cons, and by the end of the demo, things were really starting to open up, so I'm excited to see what else the game has to offer. If you love Metroidvania games, there's no reason why you shouldn't be keeping your eye on Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. It's set to launch sometime this year, still no date confirmed, at least I believe. And as you probably know, it was funded on Kickstarter with a campaign originally set for $500,000, and it successfully raised $5.5 million from backers, making it the most funded video game crowdfunding campaign on the platform until it was surpassed by Shenmue 3 shortly after. But yeah, if you want to know a little bit more about all these games, I will link the written version of this video in the bottom in the description below. And that's all I pretty much have to say. Those are the 4 games that I checked out during my time at E3 2018. However, there might have been more. I wasn't able to check out a lot of the indies and a lot of the Japanese publishers' booths. And as you know, those types of games are the ones that come to Vita. But do you have your eye on any of these games? Do you still play your Vita? Be sure to leave all your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hit that subscribe button if you're interested and if you enjoyed this video. And hit that notifications bell if you want to know when I post videos. Unfortunately, videos might be slowing down a little bit around here now that E3 has winded down. I have some other projects I need to work on with the Enthusiast Gaming brand. As you know, this isn't just a YouTube channel, it's a website. It's a family of websites, and there's just a bunch of stuff going on. So I'm sorry if things slowed down a little bit, but I'm glad I still got my Vita fans, and I'm glad I can still talk Vita on this platform, because it's, as you know, Vita, love it. Say it every time, but I just gotta say it again. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I will talk to you later.